Today we're going to focus on how to prep and conduct yourself during an interview process and eventually the interview. I'll start by saying, yes, I am wearing Jedi robes. Why? Because A, they're really comfortable, and B, I'm a bit of a nerd, so whatever. Moving on. First things first, when you're starting an interview process, be friends with your recruiter. Recruiters want you to succeed. Their job depends on it. Whether they're trying to earn a commission or trying to fill headcount that their managers are on them about, they need to fill this role. So make sure you're utilizing them as a source of information because they will be very helpful, especially if you're proactive. So things that you can talk to them about, ask them what to expect from the interview process. How many stages are there going to be? What types of questions am I going to encounter? If they can give you specifics, that's even better because they know exactly what the teams need that they're trying to fill, and you can take that information and use it to your benefit. Recruiters love when candidates are proactive and ask for this type of information. Next, get notes on the interview questions and criteria for the interview. Don't just find out what the questions are, but find out what's the meaning behind the questions. What's the information that you're trying to give to the interviewer to make sure that not only are you answering the question with a specific example, but you're also providing information for what's behind even asking the question to begin with. After your recruiter has let you know what types of questions are going to be asked and what criteria you're going to be tested on, it's a good method to write each of those down on a piece of paper and then continue to write at least 2 to 3 specific examples of when you have handled a situation that relates to the question throughout your career. Writing things down imprints it into your brain better than just thinking about it, because if you're writing it down, you're visually seeing it as well. Also, you'll have the memory of writing it down, so it'll be fresh in your brain. Reread these examples as much as your time will allow you to, and practice speaking these answers out loud. If there's one thing that I've learned from making videos, it's just because you have something in your head doesn't mean it's going to come out of your mouth the way you want it to. So I recommend saying these questions. You don't have to do it in a mirror. You don't have to do it to a friend, but at least just speak them into existence, and it'll make you more comfortable in the interview. We can all agree interviews are stressful, they're high pressure, and the more you can use these steps to prepare yourself before you go into the interview, the more relaxed you'll feel actually giving the answers, and you'll be able to focus on what matters, which is the details of the questions being asked and how you've fulfilled them throughout your career. Things to keep in mind while answering the questions. This is why it's important to be able to be cognizant of the situation while you're answering and not spending too much time trying to recall back past memories that you didn't prepare for. For each answer, you want to have a start, a middle, and an end. The start is going to be setting up the example. The middle is going to be going over how you handled the situation being asked of you. And the end will be how your team or company benefited positively from your actions. Make sure that you're keeping track of the relevance of your answers to the questions being asked. The last thing you want to do is ramble on about an answer for a question that wasn't even asked of you. So in this sense, shorter answers are better than longer answers as long as they are to the point and following this start, middle, and end structure that I just went over. If you're done answering a question and you're unsure whether or not you actually fulfilled what the interviewer is looking for, ask them. It's very simple. Just say, did I answer your question, or do you have any follow-up questions? That way, if they do ask any follow-up questions, you have more detail as to what you should be focusing on in your answers. Stay focused. Interviews can be grueling, especially if it's a full day of interviews. You're going to be answering many different questions, speaking with many different people, and the last thing that you want to do is appear worn out at the end of the process. Staying focused is probably one of the most difficult things to do in an interview because of how grueling they can be. But that's again why it's so important to prepare, get in as many repetitions as you can with these examples that you've been preparing for before going into the interview. That way you can stay in the moment rather than thinking about, I wish I answered this question differently. Why didn't I say this? Why didn't I say that? You know what you've said is the right thing because you've prepared ahead of time. And that's really it. If you can make sure you're getting as much information from your recruiter as possible for how to prep for the interview, actually doing the work ahead of time to prepare to answer these questions on paper, in your brain, out loud, you're going to go into the interview process with confidence, the understanding that you know what you're talking about and that you have the examples from your background to not only succeed in the interview, but excel to stand apart from everyone else who's interviewing. Lastly, I just wanted to go over a couple free ways that you can help support me. I say it every video, but it means the world to me. I've been enjoying making these videos and would love to continue. If you appreciate this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get 500 subscribers. It's going to be very difficult, but I know we can do it. As I always say, thanks for stopping by again, and we'll see you for the next one.